Okay, so meat lovers and cooks know that butchering is an art that takes skill, and our friend, Chef Chris Shepard, you brought in an expert to teach us the basics today.
So here's my friend, Ryan Cade, co-owner of RC Ranch and Butcher Shop at the Houston Farmers Market. So they bring in high-quality Wagyu beef from their own family ranch, and it's Texas to your kitchen. In essence, is what it really is. So things that we have to look out for when purchasing meat. At a store, what do you look for?
Yeah, so quality has always meant marbling when it came to beef. When you hear prime or choice or select, as you know, that has to do with the intramuscular fat or marbling. But I think consumers' expectation is changing today as well, right? They also want to understand all these words they hear about their food, like what does natural mean? What does organic mean? What does sustainable mean? What do all those things mean? And at RC Ranch, it's really important to us that we're part of that education process, and we teach the consumer, here is why what we're doing is special. Yes, it's highly marbled, super high quality beef raised on our ranch for your family, but the other side of it is there's some other things, some other expectations we have that go into the raising of our animals.
Ryan, we're seeing some video right now of the location. Y'all are located at the Texas Farmers Market. It's a great spot. You've been there, or Houston Farmers Market rather. You've been there more than a year now, and I know business is growing. What are some of the most common questions you get from customers? Because it seems like identifying the different meat cuts is something that a lot of us might not know about.
Sure. What is Wagyu is one of the top questions we get, right? Why is Wagyu different? And we kind of talk about how it's a breed of cattle that's genetically predisposed to marble. But to your point about the different cuts, everybody knows what ribeyes and fillets are.
So, real quick, can we talk about this? Can I just?
Sure.
Sorry. So
don't stick a knife in me, Chris.
When you look at an animal, right?
Okay.
Ribeyes come through here, of course, connect to the rib cage, and then you have your strip loins and then sirloins. But those are kind of, and then what people don't really understand is that like the tenderloin is inside of here.
We need to leave him on feed for a little longer.
You got to fatten me up a little more.
So the tenderloin actually comes from the inside. So when you start talking about a harvested animal, it's about 1,000 pounds. And then the tenderloin is about uncleaned, about 12 pounds of that.
Wow.
Right? And so it doesn't really give you that much. So here, what you have are cuts that you should be eating because they're flavorful, delicious, and perfect.
You bet. Utilization's that key word, right? We've everybody wants ribeye strips, fillets, and they understand hamburgers, but there's 200 pounds of trimmbles or more on every carcass that we harvest. And there's also sirloin cuts that have gotten a bad name. There's some things that people don't know about, like this Denver. This Denver cut is our single best-selling product at the butcher shop.
You're kidding.
I mean, look at that. That is
beautiful,
gorgeous.
Because of the marbling in there, just the mixture between the fat content.
But it's up
and the
inside the shoulder too, so it's a cut that most people don't know.
Yeah.
But that marbling is absolutely stunning.
It's got a great price point. These are cross-cut short ribs. People think about beef ribs and know them and love them, but man, you really have to know what you're doing when you're cooking beef ribs. It's an all-day smoke kind of deal. You cross-cut them like this, and you can just grill them out there, and they're just to die for. This is beef bacon. People think about pork bacon. It's a staple in most homes, but this is beef bacon, and this Wagyu beef bacon is out of this world.
So what is this?
This is a bavette, sirloin flap, part of the bottom sirloin, and my very, very favorite cut on the beef.
I'm not going to lie, it's mine too.
Oh yeah?
100%.
So it's kind of like, it looks kind of like a big skirt, but it's thicker, so you can still keep that nice medium rare on the inside. Sirloin, I believe, gets a bad rap for being tough. It's really not, especially when it's a high quality sirloin like our Wagyu. Top sirloins, bottom sirloins. You've heard of tri-tip, but the other thing is you cut it against the grain, and we'll demonstrate that here in a little bit too.
But you also have a butchering class that's coming up that'll kind of go through all of this too at the shop, correct?
You bet. Wednesday, we're doing a learning series at the shop. We talked about how we like to educate, and the next one coming up is whole animal butchery. We'll have some whole quarters there, and we'll start cutting them up and talking about all these different cuts and how interesting they are and how to use them. So our website's r-cranch.com, and you can go to that website, sign up, social media, Instagram, Facebook, and sign up for those butchery classes. The one after that's actually Wagyu and wine, and so it'll be kind of pairings with really cool wines and some of the different beef cuts.
I can imagine that would be very popular. Any experience required for these classes, or you can walk in a novice?
No, anybody can walk in. It'll be for every learning level.
Okay. Yeah. Once the customers come and get the cut from you at the butcher shop, can you show us actually how to prepare it or cut it at home? Because there is an art to doing this, right?
Yeah, sure. So with my bavette here, again, a lot of times we'll cook it kind of fajita style, or as we would do like some outside skirts. But you can also just cut them into steaks if you wanted to. If you wanted to just to have bavette steaks, you figure, hey, I want to. What is that, about 6 ounces or so? You can do those steaks. But the thing I really wanted to demonstrate today was the grain. It's super important that you find the grain in beef.
Okay.
You can see the grain runs this way through this. And so when you grill it, you'll season it however you like to season it. We have some seasonings in-house that we love, but some people just swear by salt and pepper. But after you get it good seared, you don't go past that internal temperature that's medium rare. Then we want you to cut it against the grain. And what that does is if there is any toughness left, then you go against the grain. It's just going to bring that tenderness that you really want. It's just going to make that beef super.
And I feel like this is a very forgiving cut anyway. Yeah. Even if you go over with it, you got that marinade, it's getting sticky on there, you want that crust, it's still perfect.
Sure.
Cutting against the grain, and I noticed, Ryan, you also were not going straight down. You kind of took it at an angle, is that right?
I think it just, I really wanted to lay it open so you could really see it. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with going straight down too. And I probably would at home, I'd probably go more straight down. I was just kind of trying to lay it open so that you could kind of see what we're doing there with those grains and understand that breaking them like that is going to make it even more tender. But bavette's really tender enough, as it is. It's just super important to some people. Like my wife's a flat iron. She loves flat iron better than this. Super tender, second most tender cut on a beef carcass. For me, it's the bavette because I just love that beefy sirloin flavor.
Okay.
So you got a friend that you do jerky with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I think I know who you mean.
Yeah. So we're super excited. We've got a jerky product. We talked about utilization. We use our rounds to make jerky. We're super excited about a partnership with Astros great Alex Bregman. And Alex is a great baseball player, but an even better guy. We're super excited to have a co-branded jerky product with him. You can find it at all the HEBs, a lot of specs, and then more stores coming online in the next few weeks. We're really excited about rolling this out all over the state of Texas. And,
Alex is everywhere these days.
Yeah,
it's a great partnership. Grab that jerky. Ryan and Chris, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
This was interesting.
Yeah, thank you for
Hope to see you both again very, very soon.
Yeah.
The cooking class, as a reminder, by the way, is April 19th. So visit their website, mark your calendar, and for a link to get your tickets and to find more info on those cooking classes, we have a link on the Scene on Houston Life section of our website, HoustonLife.tv. You guys got to grill this stuff up and
you bet. We'll do it.
Late lunch.
Yes, sir. We'll do it.